Good morning and welcome to Gulfstream today. Brian Nato with you on a picture-perfect day here in Hollandale Beach. Main track is fast, the turf is firm, the tapita is in play as well. We've got a 9-pack for you today. Very few scratches, a very strong, solid card as we draw a day closer to the Pegasus World Cup next Saturday, and those fields are really starting to kind of come into focus now. We kind of got the final countdown yesterday, and we'll talk a lot about that going forward. And don't forget, we're going to draw that card on Sunday, so a lot of excitement here at Gulfstream Park. And as always, Rainbow Six brings a lot of excitement as well. And boy, we're getting up to a big number now, $525,000 in the gross jackpot guarantee. That's going to kick off today on this 9-race card in race number 4. We're over $500,000. And they have been sending it in, and like I said, there's very few scratches on the card today. Good, deep, competitive fields and races, so they're going to be betting again today, as they have really throughout the course of the championship meet, and we thank everybody for your continued support. Early Pick 5 has been very healthy as well, and we've seen those massive pools and solid payoffs, and today should be no different. We'll take a quick look at my ticket now. I want to remind everybody, too, look at that super high 5 where, you know, a little bit inside of an hour to post, and already $13,000 in a big pool brewing there. But let's take a look now at this early Pick 5. I got a single of what should be a pretty strong favorite right off the rip in race number 1. Race 2 will go 3 deep to the 2, Love Mammy Love. In race number 3, just 2 deep again. Top pick is the 6 in there, and that is Subtle Faith. Another single in race 4 of Hey Hey Harry, who should be a very short number for Kelly Breen. What a meet Kelly's had so far. And in race number 7, we're on that firm turf course. We'll spread a little bit in here, 4 deep, and I do go to all the way to the outside. And Scat to Tap's got some speed for Jorge Abreu and Oisin Murphy, and we'll see if we can negotiate a trip from a wide draw there. $12 in this early Pick 5 ticket, and like I said, the opener to me by post time should have a pretty significant favorite, and that is the 8. And we are going 1 mile and a 16th on the Tapita. These are 12-5 maiden claimers, fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up. Pep Rally is 8-5 on the morning line, and I would think when it's all said and done, she could be that, if not a lot lower, because you look at the Tapita race 2 back, and I want to bring it up now and show it to you because it was simply much better. And this was for a quarter, by the way, as well. And you can see her getting nagged and hounded on the lead. And the 2 horses that are chasing her right now, they ended up finishing 8th and 6th. Where does she finish? She finishes a neck behind the winner, who's looping right now, and that is Kitten Zen, the 8 horse. So you can see, I mean, she ran a huge race. She ran, for my money, comfortably better than the winner did this day because, again, she was basically hounded every step of the way. She put away her 2 pace rivals and just won the battle, lost the war angle. And that was for a quarter. She's meeting 12-5s today, and she's not meeting a lot. You know, the main danger is clearly the 3, and that is Great Princess. She couldn't get it done at evens last time for 12-5. She's now 0 for 14 with 7 seconds, and boy, I don't like to see those seconds adding up, because not only is she's got 7 of them, she's never really been that close in those seconds, so she's kind of building a little pattern here of not too interested in winning a horse race, whereas Pep Rally's only 0 for 5, and the only time she's done real significant running, it was on the Tapita in the race we just showed you. So I think she's in a very good spot today. Paco and Kelly Breen, what a meet they are having together, and separate for that matter too. So I think Pep Rally is going to be tough, and that's why she's my single. The early Pick 4 kicks off in race number 2. We're on that firm turf course. It's a maiden optional claimer, fillies and mares 4 and up, sprinting 5, and probably the biggest scratch of the day for a couple different reasons is the morning line favorite. The 4 Oolong High is going to be out, and not only was she very likely to be a strong favorite in here, she was the speed of the speed as well. So there's a lot going on here that's out of race 2. Samantha is got an early Pick 4 ticket. We'll take a look at it now. She's on location today. $24 early Pick 4 ticket. And you can see she doesn't have a single in this sequence, which is pretty rare for her and I, for that matter. She's 3 deep here, 3x2x2, and she's spreading in race 5 as well. So she kind of sees it how I see it in the 5th, and that it could be a definite spread race. I made Alexis Zorba the 4-1 morning line favorite in race 5. So you can see right there, it looks like a spread kind of race. Let's get into race 2 though here. Again, 5 furlongs on that firm turf course. The big scratch of the 4, Oolong High. I had her in second. She was a major player. The race clearly went through her. I'm going to go with the 2 though, and I always did have her on top. Love Mammy Love, who's going to get back to the turf. Going to go second off a layoff for Safi and Edgar Zayas as well. And I like that Saratoga turf race for 40. That was back in August. You know, Safi thought enough of her to bring her up there during the summer, and she acquitted herself very nicely. She was a close third that day. She's got the speed to, you know, I don't really see her on the lead, though the lead is now there for the taking with the favorite Oolong High out of here. But Edgar Zayas can put her in any spot basically he wants, and he's got enough speed to hopefully work out a trip from down there. She's very likely to be the favorite now, and probably a significant one, but I think it's finally her day. 0 for 10, 5 underneath finishes, so you don't have to like her, and you don't have to put her on top, but I think she's got a lot going for her today. The 8, Olympic Artist. Now, we have not seen her. Well, we haven't seen her in general since June. We haven't seen her down at Gulfstream Park since late April when she was running into the teeth of the championship meet. She's run very well on turf. Luis Saez is going to get aboard for Jane Sabelli. I think she's a major player in here. Luis has got plenty of tactical speed to work with. He's an aggressive jockey to begin with. The only worry is the layoff. She hasn't been out since a maiden special weight in June, and now she's here for 40. So, you know, maybe tread a little lightly, but she's another horse that's going to move up for sure with the scratch. Sweet Charity, another one of those. She's going to try turf for the first time. Anthony Margada has had a very, very strong championship meet, sending out limited runners. They've all been very live. Irad lands here. I think that's great to see. The only question is, does she handle turf? A daughter of Army Mule. And that's the stat we want to show you that Samantha pulled up. An Army Mule trying turf for the first time. This is actually pretty surprising to me. This is off the top of my head. I certainly don't think Army Mule for Todd Pletcher ever tried turf. But boy, he's pretty darn good over it. 12 for 54, 22%. And he's a relatively young sire as well, who's been very well received at auction. Street Charity in the mix here for Vinny Viola and company. You got to fade West Bank. Go back and watch her 2 races last year. She did not want to win at all. They were on the main track. The Hall of Famer Bill Mott brings her back fresh off a March 11th layoff. I got to see more from her. She's going to be bet today, especially with the scratch. I'm going to tell you to tread very, very lightly. She had to win her last 2 races at odds on, and she didn't. She wanted no part of it. Be very careful with her today, especially off a layoff. Race number 3, we go a flat 1-turn mile on a fast main track. These are fillies and mares 4 and up, 12-5, 2 L's here. Scratch the 2, My First Date, who was a long shot. I am on the 6, Subtle Faith. I mean, it took this daughter of Speightster a while to get rolling. Took her 12 starts to break her maiden, but she did it in a good way, 2 back. 1 off by 5 for Nick Palmer. And, boy, she stepped up. She faced winners last time. She was not at the bottom. She ran a very good, incredible second. She was way well clear of She's Spiteful, who's back in here today. And Nick's got her going good. Nick has not sent out a lot of runners at the championship meet, but everything he's sent out has been very, very live, and they've run well. So, you know, with that start against winners behind her, and we know that can be a rude awakening for a horse, I think it's onward and upward for Subtle Faith. Dream Tap is interesting to me. I don't know if they're going to bet her or not. She's going to run on the main track for the first time since she got over to Joe Orsino's barn. Very good second on the Tapeta 2-back. I don't know what happened 8th on the Tapeta last time. She was 18-1. It was a solid race for the level. She chased and just basically stopped. Joe's going to run her on dirt for the first time. The race at Indiana in mid-October, albeit against Lesser, was a pretty decent third that day. The winner came back to win. She was 27-1. We like the job Joe does. He reaches out for one of his guys, Paco. They're 20% together. Dream Trap is interesting. Let's just be honest. This is not the saltiest group we've got on the backstretch. There's probably no reason she can't make a little dent in here. Irad's on the 3, good, better, best. That's great. Also means you're probably going to take an underlaid price on a horse who has been doing the turf and Tapeta thing for Fausto Gutierrez, and she's 0 for 7 with 5 underneath finishes on the main track. Tread a little lightly here to see what we get for good, better, best with the leading rider aboard. 3 down, 6 to go on this Thursday 9-race card, and when we come back, it's Rainbow Six time, 525 in the gross jackpot guarantee. Stay tuned.
It's tradition. Every year, the stars gather for a spectacle. Stars of the racing world collide to cement their legacy in their quest for greatness. Bear witness as we raise the stakes and shatter the status quo. Watch as the brightest stars in fashion take the stage, and we forge unforgettable memories. Be part of this storied heritage. Revel in performances from the superstars of entertainment, and the unexpected awaits you at every turn. Join us in this unrivaling celebration, where champions ascend and legends are created. This is the Pegasus World Cup, where stars align.
And welcome back to Gulfstream today. Brian Nato with you as we weave our way through this 9-race Thursday card. Beautiful day here in Hollandale Beach, Gulfstream Park. Hope to see you out here. Of course, Pegasus World Cup next Saturday. We'll talk about that a little bit later on during the lightning round. But Rainbow Six now, we have passed $500,000. This is the biggest it's been in quite some time. The guarantee today here in race number 4 is $525 in the gross jackpot guarantee. And I'm sure you've been with us for the past several weeks. We are typically going well past that number, and I don't really see why we wouldn't today as well. I'm not going to put a lot into it. I think this is a card that maybe you can be a little tight on. You can see I've got 3 singles, and one of them's right off the bat here, race number 5. We've talked about this already. I'm to the outside with the 11, Scott to tap. Another single in race number 6 to the 5, Goddess of Fire, second off that long layoff. She was second in the Gulfstream Park Oaks here last year for Todd Pletcher. We'll show you that replay coming up in race number 7. The top pick is the 3, Volker. We're going to try to turn the tables on Frosted Faith, the 2. Here's the best bet. This is a little bit bold in race number 8 because Swashbuckle was behind a trio of the rivals she's facing again today. And then the blanket in race number 9 with that top pick, the 2, Mr. Breisel, who is my long shot. That, I think, is definitely the spread race along with race 5 in the sequence, and I want to try to give myself as much coverage as I can. I can guarantee you there are people that are playing bigger tickets than I that will buy the 9th race. It could be that kind of blow up the board type of race, but let's start getting into the sequence now in race number 4. I don't think it's that type of race. $25,000 maiden claimers. These are 3-year-olds going 6 on a fast main track. I want to note the 1, Go-Go Santee, is going to be a gelding. Take note of that. Go-Go Santee is a gelding in here, a field of 7, and they're just all looking way up at Hey Hey Harry, who's 7 to 5 on the morning line. He wants nothing to do with a Tapeta route. So what he's doing now is for Kelly Breen and Edgar Zayas, he's going to get back to a sprint on the main track, and he's going to do it for the first time since Lasix was added. And basically, any of those last 3 races at this level, 3rd, 4th, and 2nd, respectively, they're all going to beat this field. It's as simple as that because no one, at least in the afternoon, has done anything. And I'm not going to tell you any of those races were any world beaters or any great shakes, but what he's been doing in the afternoon is just better than this group, and that's why I've got him on top. The 2 Yates runners, the 4 Air Force Royalty and the 2 Breeze the Bayou, they're interesting. They were not very good in their debut, but But Air Force Royalty was sprinting on the Tapeta. Breeze the Bayou was routing on the turf, 2 turns. Neither of them did any running. Neither of them was bet that day. Now they're going to come back on a dirt sprint, and both of them have worked very, very well for Mike, who's a dirt sprint guy. So they are the 2, to me, that are eligible to wake up and move forward and maybe threaten what is going to be a huge favorite in the 3. Hey, Harry. Maybe today's the day for Fuji Fire, and I don't mean to get a win. I mean to actually meet the starter because he's been scratched a couple times. I don't know. This is a homebred here. This is a monster pedigree, and he tried to run for 450, tried to run for, I believe, 35 was a gate scratch. Here he is for a quarter, and I'm going to tell you, be very, very careful. Tab the tote board here. It's a good sign now to see Paco is aboard, Paco Lopez, our second leading rider. But from there, I've really got nothing else to add. Couple of these works are okay. Couple of these works are really, really slow. And the fact that he might finally be running today for a quarter is just not a good sign for a pedigree like this. Firenze Fire and all that kind of stuff in this pedigree. Tread a little lightly here as well. Late pick 5 kicks off in race number 5. We're going to show you Samantha's ticket as well. In this, what is, I think, because I have a single now to kick off the rainbow, this is a little more difficult for sure. And she's 4 deep in this 5th race as well. And, I thought that was the spread race too. And I was doing the same. She does not have my top pick, and that is the 11 in there, and that is Scat to Tap. But she's 4 deep there. You can see her single. Now, this is a good one here. She's singling Steel Racer, and I get that. We're going to talk about race 6 in a minute because I think that's probably the Marty Drexler runner who was so good walloping Florida breds last time. If Street Goddess of Fire, if she's not ready to roll today, second off the layoff, Steel Racer is about 2 to 5 in that race, and you're not going to get that kind of price because Goddess of Fire is in here. And then you see a 2 by 3 by 2 late pick 3 to get her out of this sequence on a $24 play for her. Now let's get into this race 5 that I've been talking so much about. This is a mile on the turf, a maiden special weight for 4-year-olds and up. We're going to scratch out the 8. Party with Smarty, who was a huge long shot, so there's no real significance here. And we're going to start with my top pick, and then I'm going to show you a replay as well. But my top pick is Scat to Tap. Now, when you're going a mile on this turf course, the outside draw is not very good at all, and that's a problem. But I do think that Oisin Murphy's got the speed here to hopefully negotiate a trip and get some position into what is a very, very quick run into the first turn. I also like the last time this horse was on turf up in New York, ran well, but couldn't see out 9 furlongs. And I think the cutback today is perfect. We're going to have speed to the inside that I'm going to talk about in a second. Hopefully we break running and Oisin can get a trip into that first turn and we can stalk maybe in the 2 or 3 path, and we'll go from there on a horse that I think brings plenty of foundation to a spot like this. So let's take a look at the replay now. Alexis Zorba, Secret Threat, and Charge Off were in this race last time. Here's Alexis Zorba, who they just always have to bet. They can't not bet him. He was 3 to 5 on the hard chase. This race is going to fall apart, and you're going to see Secret Threat and you're going to see Charge Off come into your picture. There they are way back there. The winner is right in front of them. The White Bridle for Pletcher and Vinnie Viola. And the winner was tremendous. My goodness, look out for the winner. But these 2 horses are flow aided as well. Okay? You're going to see him run on late. Here's the winner who ran about 4 jumps. That's all he did. In a canter. Awesome. Devastating performance. The horses that were 1, 2, 3 under the line were 8, 9, 10 early in that race. It was an epic meltdown race. So as much as I like to beat up Alexis Zorba and telling people to stop betting him, he ran okay that day. He really did, because he was on the hard chase the entire way. For the meltdown race, for him to be beaten just 4 lengths, it was a much better effort than his looks. It was off a little layoff. It was the first time into Mike Maker's barn, You can expect better today. He has routed okay in the past. I made him the 4-1 favorite. They just always have to bet this horse. They're probably going to do it today. The blinkers go on today. I don't know what that's going to make of him because he's got 44 and change speed. So what do we get today? He's certainly bred to run long and run 2 turns. His race at Saratoga in August of 2022, as slow as it wasn't a bad effort. You know, maybe he freewheels on the lead and he finally delivers. He's just the type of horse to me. I got to fade underneath until I see more of him, and that's why I'm doing it. But if he's loose on the lead, he could be dangerous in here. Homestead is interesting. You know how much I love Jimmy Toner and the job he does on turf. Joe Allen with a homebred here. The Dam won a grade 2 at Chantilly, so she could run. It's her 7th foal. None of them were much. One of them won on debut. As good as Jimmy is, he's a patient guy. I think we're going to watch one from Homestead today. I got a feeling he's the best horse in here. Also have maybe a little bit of a feeling he's not going to show it today. We'll get him next time. Secret Threat and Charge Off, certainly in the mix on the stretch out. But I just showed you how maybe they were a little flattered by what was going on that day. How about Charge Off for Pletcher, 20-1 in that spot? You know, maybe just be a little careful. They didn't bet him that day. Secret Threat was 19 too. Determined Effort hasn't run back, and I kind of think the world of him, but maybe that race was flattered a little bit by the way it all shook out. Late pick 4 in race number 6. We'll go this flat 1-turn mile. Guys, we can show the ticket. We got some time here. It is a run back, but I want to show the ticket. I'm going to single Goddess of Fire in this spot. Thanks, guys. $7.50 for me. I really don't think it does anybody any favors, the bettors any favors. By using 2 horses to kick off a sequence that are probably going to be 6-5, 2-1, 7-5, 8-5. I don't really think it does anybody any favors to double a ticket like that. I think you got to take a stand. That's what I'm doing. Samantha went the other way with Steel Racer, and I do get it. We're going a mile here. 1-turn flat mile on a fast main track. These are fillies and mares 4 and up. It's open company, and that's what Steel Racer's got to prove today. I want to show you Goddess of Fire's 2nd in the Gulfstream Park Oaks here last year. I want to remind you of on her day how just very, very good she is. She's wide in chasing the whole way, short stretch finish line. The winner is Kathleen O, who was undefeated at the time. So I think that's a big, big positive. And Kathleen O is just too much horse for Goddess of Fire. But she's going to run well. She's going to end up be beaten 2 3/4 lengths. She's a month ahead of everybody else in this spot. And, you know, I guess this is her claim to fame. She was a distant 3rd in the Grade 1 Alabama, and I'm sure her connections, she's a Red Oak stable homebred. I'm sure her connections were enamored by that. What are we going to get today? That's the $64,000 question. Actually, that's the $91,000 question with this huge purse here today. She was not very good in her comeback at Aqueduct at a 1-turn mile. Now, that was her first start in 14 months and 2 days. She was 5-2 that day. The winner came back to win, chased early, essentially stopped late. They went 45-4 that day. They went ballistic up front. I would expect a massive move forward today. They brought her back. She's Grade 1 stakes placed. She's never won a stakes. I don't think they brought her back just to be this kind of horse. I would think Todd and the team said, we're okay. We can win a stakes race this year. I'm expecting a big move forward from Goddess of Fire today. If it's not her, it almost has to be Steel Dancer. That's who Samantha singled. I could have showed you this replay, but there's nothing really to show. It was just absolute tour de force. First start for Marty Drexler. Marty is so good. He runs her against Florida Breds. She blasts them that day. She wasn't even the favorite. Now she's got to tackle open foes. She's got to tackle a Grade 2 stakes-placed runner. But if Goddess of Fire is not herself and never will be herself, Steel Racer's going to have a real say in here. And you're going to get a better price than you should on her because you're going to have what I would expect to be a pretty significant favorite for Todd Pletcher and John Velasquez, who's aboard that race in the Gulfstream Park Oaks. That is a really exciting race number 6. It's good to see her back at Gulfstream Park as well. Late pick 3 in race number 7. We're 5 on the Tapeta here. These are 4-year-olds and up, which have never won 3 or a race in 6 months. We do scratch out the 1 in here that is just a wave and a smile, a field of 6. Let's just go right to the replay, guys, of Frosted Faith and Volkert. I kind of felt Frosted Faith had to win. What a trip. What more do you want? You're 3 wide stalking at 2-1. You're stalking a speed duel. And your odds on right here. And he couldn't get it done. He was second, beat and a half length, whereas Volkert, trying the Tapeta for the first time for Mark Hennig, and gets shuffled a little bit, was down inside. You never really want to be down there. I thought this was a pretty good effort. Watch him level off a little bit in the lane. Boy, I thought this was a pretty good effort here. Keeping on. And to me, there's no doubt who I want going forward today. And then that is Volkert. Got run off his feet a little bit last time. And he's got that behind him now. We talked time and time again how horses, this can be a kind of a abrupt about face on the Tapeta, trying it for the first time. And I think we're moving forward. Frosted Faith, you just saw it there. He just had to win that day. And I know he was second. You don't want to beat him up too much. But who's going forward from that race? And to me, I think it's clearly Volkert in a spot like that, and that's basically why I just swapped them today. More upside, you should get a better price as well, because they're going to bet Frosted Faith. They bet him last time. It's Anthony Margata, Jose Ortiz, but you give me Volkert going forward. I should have mentioned Amaro Lejano was fourth in that race. I don't think he's a legitimate threat. And Payzone, what do we get today? Samantha always tell you the first time trying a surface that horses can really improve. Payzone's never tried the Tapeta. It was good to see Pete Walder roaming around here yesterday. We haven't seen him in a bit. He got his 1,000th career win here over the summer. He's got Irad here. I just don't know what we're going to get from Payzone. He's never tried the Tapeta. And if he handles it, he's a big threat as well. But with Irad, you take that underlay price. Race number 8, late double. Boy, it's a good one as well. Mile and 16th on the turf. Firm turf course in this starter allowance. 4-year-olds and up. The gang is literally all here because the horses that ran 2, 3, 4, 5 in a starter optional claimer last time are all back today, and I'm going to show it to you. But my best bet of the day is the horse that's going to run 5th in this race, and that's Swashbuckle. Watch this horse getting pressed on the lead. 46 and 4. The horses that were 1, 2, 3, 4 early were 5, 8, 6, and last late. Swashbuckle ran big, and he ran by far the best of all those pace horses. Sonic Speed is making first run here, okay? And he ran well, too. He's the 9 horse here. He's going to be second, beat and a half length. Born a Gambler, 4th. Stride, 3rd. That was the flow of the race. We don't need to show it all to you because you know what happened. Stride and Born a Gambler, to me, got all the best of it that day, and they still couldn't run past Sonic Speed. Swashbuckle, all the worst of it. Now, today, there's no reason that Swashbuckle's going to go 46 in 1. There's nobody to run with him today. He's loose in here. Luis Saez will put him on the lead, and he should be freewheeling. There's not the speed that he encountered last time in this race because the 3 horses that just beat him, they're not going to be up there with him. Luis can catch a flyer here, hopefully, at the start. He's my best bet of the day. We know how good speed is on this firm turf course, and I just think Swashbuckle, taking all the worst of it last time, gets all the best of it today. If Born a Gambler and Stride couldn't get there last time, I know they go a little bit further today at 1 mile and a 16th instead of a mile. That's fine, but I just don't see them making a late dent here. They are pace dependent. And I don't think they get the splits today that they got last time. I mean, who's running? Maybe Tapit Brio, but he's cheap, and he couldn't make the front last time or come close to it. Boy, I think Swashbuckle's in a really, really good spot to turn the tables on all of them. Sonic Speed, if there is one other that I want out of that race, it's him, because he made the first move into the teeth of that really brutal demanding pace, and he hung around very, very nicely. The finale, we go a mile and a 16th on the Tapeta, $25,000 maiden claimers. These are 4-year-olds and up. We've got a full field of 10 in here. We've got a bunch of them coming back. Mr. Breisel, Joint Resolution, Barry the Builder. Let's jump right to the replay. My long shot today is Mr. Breisel. Remember, I just told you first run now into a fraying pace. That's what Mr. Breisel does here. I know it was on the turf, but he did the same thing. Whereas Joint Resolution, the 7, is kind of sitting back, licking his chops a little bit. Mr. Breisel doing all the dirty work here. And the other thing I like about Mr. Breisel, who's my long shot today, okay, look at him finally secure the lead late. He's going to get run down by Joint Resolution. He ran well. I don't want to take anything away from him. Harry won this race for Ralph Nix, who this is what got Ralph started on what has been a tremendous championship meet for Ralph. So 2 things going on with Mr. Breisel. I think he ran so well there into the teeth of a flow that wasn't really all that good. The horses he made first run at ended up being 11th and 5th. Complete meltdown there. The other thing is he's been in a Tapeta race here at Gulfstream, and it was a maiden special weight going a mile and 3/16. He doesn't have to worry about Tapeta. Joint Resolution has never run over it. Barry the Builder was in there as well. You could see him checking a little bit early. He's never run over the Tapeta either. So I think the long shot, and hopefully I do get around 6-1 on this horse, I think that he's got a little bit of an advantage on some of these horses that are probably going to take a lot more money than him. Joint Resolution for Christophe Clement, Mike Maker, Luis Saez teaming up with Barry the Builder, but I'm going to go for what should be at least a little bit of a surprise with Mr. Breisel. Michael Matz has got Selassie off a maiden special weight drop. He's going to take a lot of money. Headline News is going places for Jimmy Toner. Already won on the turf. So Selassie coming out of a very, very good race at our sister track up at Laurel. That's 9 of them for you on a good card here on a fast and firm day at Gulfstream Park. That Rainbow 5 1/4 in race number 4. Quickly to the lightning round, and hey, it's kind of all Pegasus all the time here at Gulfstream Park because why wouldn't it be? Next Saturday is the big day, and the races now are finally coming into focus and who these fields are going to be. We've been talking to the connections and certainly National Treasure, the Preakness winner for Bob Baffert is going to be a very, very deserving favorite. Second to Cody's Wish in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. First mission for Brad Cox. I just talked to Brad. Going to catch up with him early next week. The Godolphin Homebred. It's exciting to have him as well. And Philly and Mare Turf and the Turf are really going to be, I think they're going to be wide open, really good betting races as well. And don't forget, we're going to draw that card now on Sunday. So we'll have those final fields on Sunday. Those PPs will be coming out probably late Sunday afternoon, maybe Sunday night, and get cracking. I know I'll be on it as well. And, don't forget about tickets because these are going to go fast. They're very limited as it is. A lot of spots are already sold out, but hurry up and get on there, get to the website and all that kind of good stuff because they're going to go quick. And like I said, some of them are gone already. You do not want to wait till the last minute and get on Pegasus. I know it's foolish to talk weather here in South Florida, but I did allow myself a quick look this morning, and it did look pretty darn good for next weekend as well. We've had a cold Pegasus or 2. That does not look to be the case. So if you're thinking about coming out, get your tickets. I highly suggest it. My best bet of the day is in that turf race in race number 8. We just talked about it. That is Swashbuckle, hopefully loose and freewheeling on the lead. I've got the best bet long shot late double because I'm in race number 9 with my best bet, and that is also the 2, Mr. Breisel, in there at 6-1. Let's take a look at what Samantha's got going on as well. Her best bet today, do we have it, guys? Yeah, there we go. Steel Racer. That's the single. I like her best bet. I didn't pick the horse, but I like what she's doing because that's the Goddess of Fire race. And if you think she's vulnerable, and listen, she very well could be. She was not very good at all at Aqua in her comeback. Here's the right kind of value single on a horse that probably I wouldn't expect her to be favored. Let's see what she's got for the long shot. There we go. Race number 5, Orby 1. That's that wide open turf race, and that is a 9 Orby 1 for Johnny Ortiz. Ran pretty well last time. Could is going to be part of the pace in there. There's no doubt about that. I would think now on the stretch out with Alexis Zorba, maybe Orby wants it's a nice 2 outside kind of stalking trip. That's 9 of them for you. I didn't give Pete a lot of time, but that's okay because Pete doesn't have a lot to do upstairs. Everything held very, very nicely on a fast and firm day. He's up there. I'll be back for the opener. We're happy to have you aboard here on a 9 race Thursday.